And then it just seems to be a recurring theme right now when it comes to some of these guys that are here. um, Daniel Jones is in the doghouse because he got paid when his former teammates should have gotten paid. But instead, he has to play this guy now twice a season, as long as he's the quarterback of the New York Giants. Who knows if he may still be that by the end of the season? Who knows? Don't know. But this is also the same team where Brian Daboll questioned Jaden Daniels if he really wanted to be in New York. I think the question should have been, do you want Jaden Daniels? Because I think you need a quarterback because Daniel Jones is not the answer. But you also don't have a phenomenal running back because he is now with the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley also had a great game. He is responsible for 3 touchdowns in his very first game with the Philadelphia Eagles. 24 carries for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, most people would like to say that he gets a lot of like gas yards and then maybe 2-3 yard plays. No, he actually averaged 4.5 yards a carry in this game. He had one long run for 34 yards, yes, but he was still gashing this defense. He really was. He also had a touchdown catch, 2 targets for 23 yards. He caught both of those, of course, and he had a touchdown. So what Joe has said multiple times, the most talented running back in the league, I believe that's the tie between him and Christian McCaffrey. But hey, that's just me. That could be the bias in me being a 49ers fan. But, when I look at it, I think they both pretty much do the same thing well. But Saquon Barkley could very well be the offensive player of the year if he continues to have games like that. Now, not every game is going to be like that, but if it's consistent, then I think it'll be hard to not give him the offensive player of the year award at the end of the season if he plays like this. And a team that's already loaded. You got Jalen Hurts, who is an all-pro quarterback. He just was 2 years ago. He did have some turnovers in the game, which is very questionable. He had a fumble that wasn't necessarily his fault because that was on the center. Let's be honest about it. But he had 2 bad picks. He could have thrown 4. If you didn't watch Unfazed last night with Joe and AJ, you might want to tune into that because you'll see AJ have a little spiel about that. And his QBR wasn't really that good. His passer rating was okay. But Saquon Barkley had a phenomenal game. And if you want to say that someone was the MVP for that game, it's Saquon Barkley. I think that's without question. He was the MVP on my fantasy team, but my team lost, so let's not talk about that. And it's crazy. He averaged 4.5 yards. I got 45 points and still lost. Wow. AJ Brown had a pretty good game. He had 10. He caught 5 out of 10 targets, 119 yards in the tud. This was a phenomenal game by Saquon, and he led this Eagles team that won 34-29 at home in Brazil. It was a home game in Brazil, but they won that game. Saquon just dominated, and it was a great showing of him in his first game with the Eagles. And if this happens, watch out. So Saquon Barkley, I mean, your last name is Barkley, so it's only right that you get Dawg. You're considered a dog.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.